Good morning, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome to the channel again. Today's about Vitali, who was held in a Philippine prison for 290 odd days. Apparently spent 90 of them, or 91 days in solitary, and got deported. He's back to Russia, I think. But then I saw something to say he was in Miami. God knows, I don't know. So all of the reports that said that he was going to be deported to Russia and then get sent straight to the front line, no, I don't think so. But anyway, the video is about him. And allegedly, what he did, he had a secret phone. This is according to his TikTok or whatever, his Facebook, and that, what I've seen and what other people have seen as well. So I researched it a little bit more, and yeah, apparently he had a secret phone in all of his duration in prison. And with this secret phone, he's allegedly documented everything, every day in prison. He's 91 days or 90 days in solitary, and he was saying that it was cockroaches and rats, and also the 35 degrees Celsius, which I can imagine it probably is then that many degrees, because I don't think they would have aircon in prison, do you? I certainly don't think that. But anyway, one of his posts that he did, I think already, and he didn't write much, he just said that he had a cell phone, and I think he got 1.5 million views already. So he's going to become very rich for spending time in a Philippine jail, because the world, especially his followers, are watching the internet. They are waiting for his content of his time in prison here. And he also did say that the system tried to break him, but it only made him stronger. And also he said that the prison time had actually done him good, because he said it's made him more disciplined. So hopefully something good has come out of what happened with his pranks and the things he took too far here. But I think now he's going to become even more wealthier than what he was, because he was a wealthy man anyway, with all of the views that he actually had and the subscribers that he actually gained. Because although it's ethically incorrect what he did, unfortunately many people like that kind of stuff. They like people pushing things to the limit. People like to watch that. And I remember watching a YouTuber who went, I think it was, did he go to Mexico, or was it, I think it was Mexico. And he spent some time with a cartel in Mexico. He was a famous YouTuber, young lad in his 20s. And I think he pushed the limit too far. And anyway, he just disappeared. So obviously he was done in by the cartel, because he was saying things and doing that. And I think he was taking the piss out of them. And there was another YouTuber as well, or TikToker, and he went to spend time with who was it? Oh God, I can't remember. Not Al Qaeda. Wasn't that? I'm trying to think of what the Taliban. Yeah, he went and spent time with them, and he'd been there a few times, and he made friends with some of them. But I think because of his content that he was putting up, the Taliban didn't like it, and of course he disappeared as well. So of course there is limits. There is limits to content, you know. How far do you want to go to get views? Well, these guys, they do take things to the extreme, and Vitali was one of them. You know, he didn't put himself, I don't think, in mortal danger, but he did put himself in trouble in the Philippines. And I think what's happened to I mean, I don't know any other YouTuber in the Philippines that would do things like Vitali did here anyway. And also with Pro-Life Traveller, you know, obviously he's on the deportation list, self-deportation. So we have to think and take into consideration, being in a foreign country, how far do you push the boundaries for views? You know, well, as far as I'm concerned, what's the point in pushing the boundaries when you can end up in serious trouble? It's not worth it, is it? Just for a few views and a few quid, it's not worth it. I would rather have few views, which I only get few views. You know, I get, you know, like a few thousand per video, sometimes a little bit more than that sometimes. Depends what the content is about. Then get thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of views and be putting myself in jeopardy of being arrested by the authorities. But Vitali, apparently he's found God. And he was saying that he was eating out-of-date cans of tuna. Well, I think even if it's in a can, yes, there is an expiration date on it, an expiry date on it, but I think they last forever. How was he getting tins of tuna? You know, that's a delicacy, isn't it? It's a delicacy in prison in the Philippines, getting tins of tuna. And also, apparently, allegedly, it's all going to come out anyway with this secret cell phone that he had. Now, I'm saying a secret cell phone. I know my American friend who was on remand here, he's back in America now, but when he was on remand here in the Philippines, in the city jail in Dipolog, he was allowed a phone. And he was allowed a phone to do his financial transactions. You know, he used to transfer money, and they let him do that. But I don't know how long they... Cockerels. If it's not cockerels, it's pigs. If it's not pigs, it's videokis. If it's not videokis, it's people shouting and screaming. You just can't get no peace. Anyway, he said to me when I went to visit him that he had his phone several times to do his financial transactions, like transfer money, and he was transferring money and giving it to his girlfriend and all that. And he still had... Why he was doing it, I don't know, but he was still renting a place here. The place that he lived in when he got arrested, he still kept that on for 3 years, and he paid rent to the landlord. Why, I don't know. But he did. So he was allowed a phone, but I don't know for how long. And this could be the same thing with Vitali, because obviously, if he's got a secret phone, how's he going to charge it all the time? You know, because it needs power. It needs power. It's battery operated. But we shall see. But I mean, I will watch it. I will be honest with you. You know, when he starts putting these videos out, I will watch it. Purely because I'm interested in his life that he's... Because I think he spent 290 days in prison. And incidentally, people, he was very, very lucky, in my opinion, just to get deported. He was very lucky indeed, because they could have slung the book at him, and he could have spent a lot of time in jail here. And apparently there is a lot of foreigners spending time in jail here. Don't know. It's just, you know, when I look on these expat forums, and there's a lot of stories on there of expats, you know, committing offences here. Some serious offences too, may I add. And they spending jail time in the Philippines, some serious jail time. And Vitali could have been one of them, pro-life traveller. I don't know, you know, people, you know, he's got a lot of followers as pro-life traveller, and you know, when I did a few every Philippine vlogger did a video on him. They did more than one, and even I think I did 2, might have been 3, I can't remember. It was definitely 2. I know I did 2, but you know, he's got some die-hard supporters that were saying that I was capitalising on his misfortune. Well, I wasn't really. You know, I was just saying my opinion, what I thought. And I think he's got off lightly as well. And now a lot of you said, no, they made him a scapegoat, and, you know, they just wanted him out of the country. He did try to renew his visa, but they wouldn't allow him to renew it, blah, blah, blah. But I think if they wanted to, because of his content that he was making, they could have had him, you know, for exploitation and such forth, and probably a heck of a lot more charges if they wanted to. But he's got off lucky as well. It's just a reminder that, you know, when you're in the Philippines, or when you're in any country, even in your own country, but more so in a foreign country, and more so I think in the Philippines, because they are really cracking down on vloggers who are being derogatory on the Philippines. Well, as I've said in many videos, I love it here. I really do love it here. Yes, it's got its ups and downs, but I'm still here after 8 years. Now, that's saying something, isn't it? And it's not because what many people think, that people go to the Philippines because they broke. No, I come here because I wanted to change my life. I didn't even know if I was going to stay in the Philippines. There you go. I didn't. I didn't come to the Philippines with the intentions of, right, I'm going to come to the Philippines and I'm going to live in the Philippines for the rest of my life. I didn't have those intentions. I didn't know where, fortune or misfortune was going to take me. I really didn't. And I almost failed a few times in the Philippines, and was going to move to another country or even go back to my home country, which I would never consider these days, What does Katie Hopkins call it? Batshit bonkers Britain. And it is batshit bonkers Britain. It really is. So I think a country that I wouldn't consider going back to live is my home country, purely because of the way it's become. Anyway, when you're in a foreign country, people, and you're a vlogger, or even if you're not a vlogger, even if you just hear, don't demoralize the people here. Don't, if you don't like it here, you simply don't like it here. And like I've said many times before, no one's making you stay here. If you don't like it and you are unsettled and you're becoming exasperated with the place, just leave, rather than staying to the point where you lose your mind. Because the Philippines is not for everybody. It never will be. It simply never will be. It's got its ups, it's got its downs. Patience is a virtue, and that virtue is definitely needed here. You need patience here. I could go on with a list of things that I feel unhappy about. Not unhappy about, but like that. But it doesn't bother me enough where I would get myself exasperated and say, chickens and roosters. I don't. I just kind of take it in my stride. And I know a lot of my watchers think, how can you live there? How can you live there with all that noise? Well, it's like the local people, they have something called, what I say, dog deafness. When a dog is barking, they can have a conversation and the dog is barking right at their heels and they just don't say anything. You do. I think there is two ways. You either become accustomed to the noise and you just become like a Filipino, or it'll drive you absolutely mental. Well, depending on my mood, sometimes it drives me mental, but 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I have the deafness now towards these noises. Now, last night, there was a videoke here and there was a videoke there, and I'm in the middle, right? Now, these videokes are about 30, one's about 30 or 40 yards from my house. The other one is about, same, 30, 40, perhaps 50 yards. Now, I'm sat out my back, so the houses, it bounces, the sound bounces off the houses, so I don't get all of it, okay? But that would probably drive a lot of you people mad, because there's one singing one thing and someone singing something else, and it's just a mix. It's just it was terrible. But when I went to bed, I went in the house, closed the doors, the windows were shut. I didn't hear anything, but outside I did. Now that would drive a lot of you mental. Me, it doesn't bother me, really. It's the Philippines. We can't change the Philippines. Why do we want to? Why do we want to change it to like what we know? Otherwise, we'd stay in the West, wouldn't we? We leave in the West for a reason. We leave in it because either for a lady, or we leave in it because we don't like it. There's things there that make us feel unhappy. We can't be 100% happy wherever we are all the time. It's impossible. It doesn't matter where you are. A lot of people say that the Philippines is paradise. Well, it might be for a lot of people, especially if you're on vacation. But when you're here long term, to me, it's paradise compared to my own country, put it that way. Meaning I can do a lot more things that I want to do. My life is relaxed here, people. It really is. Yes, I've been doing this house, I've been doing the tiling, I've been doing this and doing that, and I've been getting myself all kind of worked up because I've just given myself too much work to do. But I'm nearly finished. And what a reward when I look at what I've done. So I'm happy with that. I wouldn't leave the Philippines. Really, I wouldn't, people. I like it here that much. And I know a lot of you think, you're mental. You're mental, Stephen. But one man's meat is another man's poison. This is my meat. It's your poison if you don't like it here. You know what I mean? And I respect that. I respect people who can't make it in the Philippines or they don't want to. But listen, watch this space for not my space, but Vitali's, because it'll be interesting to see how much of the time in prison he did document, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of life that he was leading there. Because I heard as well, it's only hearsay. I heard. It's a hearsay that he got into a skirmish with a few Filipinos. I don't know. I really don't know. Look, stories get exaggerated no matter where you are in the world. A story starts off like this, like he might have had a little like a misunderstanding with a prison guard or a prisoner and before you know it, he had his arm chopped off. He had his hand chopped. Well, he didn't, did he? Because we saw him getting deported. He didn't have his arm chopped off and his hand chopped off. So that goes to show how much stories get thrown out of context. He might have had an argument, or he might have had something, but because he's such a high-profile character, obviously, drama sells, doesn't it? It's like bad news sells. Good news doesn't sell. If you went to buy a newspaper, God, I'm showing my age. Let's just say newspapers, or you're flicking through the internet, and it's good news all the way through, you probably wouldn't read it. What you read is something that draws your attention, something that, like, what's going on there? So that's what makes you look at things, isn't it? It's drama. And drama will always sell, unfortunately. That's how we... There's my wife, look, she's tidying up. I hope everything's going to be all right with this baby, because these last few weeks, she's had a few bits of spotting and things like that. But we went to the doctors, and the doctor said, well, he's got to wait and see. So I don't know, people, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to go for another scan next week. I know I'm jumping from that to that. It's just because I've seen her, and I know she's worried, and she's really anxious about it. Nature's people, we've just got to wait and see. But I hope that everything's going to be all right. We'll go for a scan next week and see. But this spotting is not all the time. It's just every few days or something. It's only a tiny bit. It's just a tiny bit of spotting. And it's like, it's not fresh blood. It's like, it looks old blood, like black, like brown. But I'm worried, but I try and be positive, and I try and give Mira as much support as I can, and I try to be positive. But I know Mira's a worrier. She really is a worrier, and I hope everything's going to be all right. For her sake, more than mine, But I think positive thinking, that's what I said to Mira. Positive thinking, everything's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. But that's it, people. It's just a video of that. So if you're interested in Vitali and his antics and the time he spent in jail here, flick over to his TikTok or flick over to his YouTube, and then you'll see what he did here and what happened in his jail. Anyway, that's it, people. Thank you very much for watching, as usual. Do you know what? These days are so beautiful now. We've had sunshine for the last 4 or 5 days, and it's absolutely been beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to show what I did very quickly, okay? Outside. This is outside. I come out here because my wife is cleaning, and anyway, let me show you. I'm going to have to... How do I turn it round? Hold on, is there see if I can turn it... Oh, God, I don't know if I can do that. Hold on, people. So, we've done this. I've stoned this up, right? And tiled all of this. Is that in view? Yeah, it is, yeah. Tiled all of this. These, all the sides, these and the flooring. And yesterday, the day before, I did the step. The step was got to grout the step. I don't know if you can see that, can you? Jackie's spoilt the view of this. Oh, I'll get that down a bit. Did this, the step. Just got to grout that. And also, you've seen the living room, haven't you? I'm sure you've seen the living room. But this is done. The bathroom is done. You've got to do these 2 small bedrooms, or that bedroom, and that's a bigger bedroom, that one. But that's it. And so I've given myself a lot of work, people, That's why I haven't been doing a lot of videos. and I know it's stupid, I've got face masks, but the face masks my wife got me were for kids. So it went on this ear and twanged off this ear when I was cutting the tiles, so I couldn't wear them. So I've been cutting tiles without a face mask, people, and my chest is raw. I mean, proper raw. But that's it. Thank you very much. See you next time, people. Bye-bye.